Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of An Hour with Domino. I believe this will be episode number 7. It's actually nice to be doing another one again. As you may know, I'm just going to get right to one of the first things. As you know, episode 6 had some problems recently. I had featured some music in it, in respect of Aretha Franklin's passing a few weeks ago, and YouTube decided to mute that, and, well, they blocked the whole episode, but I had to eventually mute that section of music. And I kind of told myself after the stress of it that I wouldn't be doing another episode for a while, but honestly, I'm wanting to do another one right now. So here I am. It'll just be me today. Miah's not on the show. He might be in the future. I hope all of you are doing well. We'll talk about a few things today. I'm going to talk about, I recently went to a local fairgrounds with Miah, actually, and I'll get into some stories with that. Took a lot of pictures. I really love taking pictures of amusement park rides. Artistically, I think they're beautiful, especially at night. They're fascinating inventions. I really love machines, and aside from clocks, I really love amusement park rides. A few other things to talk about. A few games I'll be talking about today. And that'll be along with the Pokemon talk break. Let's see. I'm feeling pretty ready to go into the episode today. I just had some bacon soup, which is Bendy's favorite, for people who know who I'm talking about. And had some peach pie along with that, which was real nice. I love pie. I really do. Aside from ice cream, pie has got to be one of the best desserts in the world. All kinds of pie, too. It doesn't matter what kind it is. Well, how about we go right into talking about games, since now we've done a short little announcement. Actually, right before that, I did want to make one little thing that I want to tell everyone. Sometimes a few shows might be, a few episodes might be a little bit shorter than an hour, and something I'm going to be adding to the show, for episodes that are a little bit shorter, is that I will have 3 song breaks instead of 2. And just to kind of intend to make it a little bit longer, and also people love music. I hope everyone has been enjoying the song breaks. I know that I particularly have myself. And I figure that that might be a good thing, and also especially sometimes when I have Miah on as a guest, sometimes it would be good to have another third song break, even in then, because that way it'll give people time to use the bathroom, eat, or whatever they're wanting to do while they're listening to the show. But, yeah, I just thought that I would make that little announcement. Alright. Moving into games, and this would also be Pokemon talk. Let's see. Not too much about Pokemon tonight, but I did get another shiny Pokemon on my Pokemon game. Been getting quite a few of those, actually. I'm talking about Pokemon Revolution Online. That is the Pokemon game I often frequent. And I got a few more shiny pokes on there. Pokemon again has been kind of quiet lately with some of their updates. And I'm kind of wondering, are they really going to be, bringing out the next generation at the end of the year? I'm thinking it'll be sometime next year, honestly. I think that we would see a little bit more about it. They're probably wanting to announce some of their games first before they start that. And also, I'm not even sure Sun and Moon is completely over with yet anyway, so... Yeah, they probably want to finish that up first. At least that's what I would want to do. Another game that I have been playing, actually, that I really enjoy. I've watched some people play it, and also I've shown it to Miah a little bit, but I've been creating a lot on it, and that is Universe Sandbox 2. At least I think it's called Universe Sandbox 2. It could be Alpha. But it is a sequel to their previous one, and as a person who loves astronomy and the planets and the stars, nebulae, galaxies, it is everything that I've ever wanted in a universe game. Basically, it allows you to explore our current solar system, other planets from other solar systems, and allows you, most of all, to create your own. And that is something I've always wanted in a universe game. It seems like I've been waiting forever for something like that to come out, and I've been creating quite a bit with it. I actually created my own solar system a long time ago when I was young, and I added to it and updated it over the years, and there was this one program that was on it was some type of Google program I was using to actually make artwork of some of my planets in one of my solar systems, and I'll probably get back to doing that, but lately I've been playing Universe Sandbox 2 quite a lot. And I definitely encourage other people to play it. It is, especially if you love astronomy, you will definitely be sucked right into it, and it's very addictive and relaxing. The music in it is beautiful. You can create not only planets, but also all of their moons, also known as satellites. You can create suns, various suns. Everything can be aged over many thousands of years. They have a really nice time frame setting in it. You can go by minutes or hours, seconds, days, years. And I've also read a lot of reviews about people who have played Universe Sandbox 2, and they said that they really love creating the demise of our planet Earth in various ways, either by hitting it with comets and asteroids, or putting it too close to the sun and watching the ocean dry up. Mankind seems to love to fantasize about its own demise for some reason. But it's a really beautiful game. I encourage everyone to play it, whoever loves astronomy or is even just curious. It's a very good teaching tool as well. There's even a few things that I've learned on it, and I've studied astronomy all of my life, just for fun even. I haven't gone to school for it to be an astronomer or anything. I almost considered that once when I was a teenager, but my life goals led me down different paths. But yes, it's really fun to play. Who knows, I may even record a few episodes of me playing it on my gaming channel with Miah, Domino Miah Games. Who knows, we'll see in the future. Haven't really 100% decided that yet. Also, just recently, in terms of gaming, I was playing Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man on my laptop, actually. They are my favorite arcade games. I've actually played a real Pac-Man in a bowling alley arcade before. They're really difficult to find now. I've always wanted my own arcade machine of Pac-Man, whether it be Pac-Man or Ms. Pac-Man, but and you can look for them now, and I do believe they sell them on eBay. I've seen a few on there before, but they're really expensive because they're collectible. If you do get a hold of one, they're definitely worth something. Maybe one day I'll have one. But yeah, that is what I've been doing in the world of gaming lately. Also, speaking of Domino Miah games, like we have some plans for late September and October, actually. Quite a few plans, especially around Halloween time. For those of you who follow the channel, actually, I'll give a link to the channel again in the description. You can go down and look for it if you want to. We play games on there mostly just for fun. And we have several ongoing series, actually. Alright, now... I mentioned that... oh yeah, before I get into that, another thing. In the last episode I talked about the upcoming Dead or Alive 6. Which I'm very much hyped about. They released some new characters and new footage. Characters that we already know, but I've been following the website quite a bit. They have a really nice website set up, and they've been showing some gameplay footage. There was one where I was watching characters Lei Fang and Hitomi in battle, and this giant octopus grabbed Lei Fang and threw her around, and it was really comical, actually. It's nice to know that even though they are taking the game more seriously in the fighting, they still have some comedy with it, too. I'm really much looking forward to it. The graphics are really nice. The outfits are really nice so far. I can't wait to see what more outfits will be revealed for each character. And I really hope that they're going to bring just about all the characters back for the roster. I don't really know who's not going to be there, and they do have one brand new character, but not too many other new characters revealed just yet. They're really taking their good old time. I've been watching the website, like I said, and I haven't seen too much updates lately. It seems like they only do it every so often. I know it's going to be coming out early next year, but that could be any time. They don't have any set date or anything, so for all we know, it could be next April or something, and that's several months away from now, so we'll just have to see. My boyfriend is very much looking forward to certain characters coming back, like Elliot and Yotengu. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them in the game too. You know, honestly, this might be a good time to have the first song break. I'm going to get into my fair experience, my experience at the fair, probably when I come back after the song break. And today actually is a little bit something special for song break. I did originally have a different plan, but it's going to be moved to the next episode after this one. Today I'm going to do a little something special for you, YouTube, because of what happened in the last episode. So, enjoy the music. I will be right back. Hello again, and welcome back to An Hour with Domino. The song you just heard is known as I Am So Happy to Be Finally Back at Home, also known as the Tra-la-la-la-la song by Eduard Anatolievich Kiel. I actually really love that song. It always makes me happy. It's so bouncy, and I dedicated that in this episode just now for YouTube because of what happened in my last episode. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Moving on to the next topic, I'm going to talk about how I went to the fair with Miah. And I was actually wanting to get this episode out a little sooner. I was down with a migraine the other day, and those things really just end everything that I'm doing in my world. I get them really bad, a lot like my mum. It's hereditary. But I'm feeling much better now, and be happy to be doing another episode. Let's see, my fairground experience. Whenever me and Miah go to a fairgrounds, we usually like to do a survey of the whole grounds. What we do is we walk around the whole thing, see what's there, what rides we plan to go on, and then we decide to go on usually either the carousel first or the Ferris wheel. And I really enjoyed my time, but I remember when I first arrived, I wasn't feeling my best. I was really hungry, first of all. Like, abnormally really hungry, and I have no clue why. But it was also extremely hot. We have late summers around here, and that's why a lot of our fairgrounds actually run a little bit longer in the year. We actually have the state fair coming up in October, but we're not going to be going to that. Me and Miah actually have different plans. We're going to be going to the coast to spend some personal time together. But anyway, when we got to the fairgrounds, I remember I started feeling a little bit dizzy and hungry, and I thought to myself, okay, well, we'll ride on the carousel and the Ferris wheel, just to kind of cool down or just relax a little after we've walked around. And by the time we rode on those, I was starting to feel a little queasy, so I said, okay, let's get something salty, kind of make me feel a little bit better. And I ate, and I started to feel a little bit better, and then I started having some tummy trouble. Like, my tummy would feel a little queasy or achy every now and then, and it was really hot outside still. And I'm not somebody who sweats easily. I'm really not. But I started to get really sweaty that day, and it must have just been all the electricity all around, coupled with the sun shining. There was a nice little gentle breeze every now and then, but I guess it just wasn't enough, and Miah was actually feeling it too. And so, let me tell you a little bit more about my experience. After we were walking around, I was just, we kind of took it slow. We went on a few rides after I ate. And rides do not make me sick. They don't make me feel ill at all. But on this day, I was feeling a little bit queasy every time I got off one of the rides, and I knew it wasn't the rides doing it. It was just the fact that it was really hot out, and my little delicate, pale body just could not handle it. And I don't go out in the heat much. But I wanted to go to the fair this day with Miah because it was his day off, and we wanted to enjoy our time together. And so I was making the best of it, and I remember eventually getting toward evening. I had to use the bathroom a few times, and one of them, I usually hate using these things, and I still do, and I kind of regret this decision. But I needed to use one of the little outhouses. Sometimes people call them porta potties. Because it was a long walk back into the restrooms. The fairgrounds is right beside the Crown Coliseum, and it's a stadium, and there's restrooms in there, but it's kind of a walk back through the fairgrounds in order to get in there. And I was going to do that, but I decided I probably couldn't make it. So I went into one of the little outhouses, and I immediately regretted that. Not only did it have no light in there, and it was already past twilight, so it was getting dark, and there was no light in there. It was even hotter inside that little building. There was a spider crawling up around near the top above me, which I didn't want to get near. I cannot stand spiders. And also, the little toilet paper rack would not move. It barely moved at all. So here I am fighting with this stupid little contraption, and I'm ready to break it off the wall. I really am. And then I leaned really close, and I saw that they actually had a little tiny lock on it, probably specifically for people not to break it off the wall. And so that really didn't help the situation at all. I was in there for probably well over 10 minutes or longer, just trying to deal with the situation. By the time I got out, I was sweating buckets, and Miah looked at me and is like, "You really don't look so good." And I said, "I don't feel good at all." So we sat down, I rested a little bit more, and then I started to feel better, and I started to enjoy the rest of the evening after that, and I just needed to get that out of my system, I suppose. But I enjoyed riding many of the rides there. I especially loved seeing a tilt-a-whirl. Every time I see a tilt-a-whirl, I love to ride them. There was a scrambler too, although it was the Sizzler ride. The Sizzler is a more updated version of the scrambler, and I really loved that ride too. We went on a pirate ship ride. It was called the Sea Ray. I got to go on a balloon race ride. Now, for those of you who don't know what the balloon race is, also known as the Samba balloons, it is a ride that has these hanging balloon, hot air balloon shaped seats, and I've never been on one before, nor have I seen one in person until I went to the fair. In fact, I saw another ride too for the first time at the fair, and I'll get to that in a moment. But when I was there, it reminded me of a scene that I wrote in my first book to my Power of the Gods series. My character Sabrina, when she's younger, she goes to a fairgrounds, and what happens during that scene is kind of horrific because she feels very, let's just say that she didn't really get her way. And I don't want to go into too much detail with that, otherwise I might spoil the scene for those of you who have not read my book. But Sabrina was born with a very advanced telekinetic gene, and she uses that to her advantage. And you can pretty much let your imagination wonder exactly what she does during that scene. But I did feature that ride in the book, and it reminded me a lot of my own writing. Another ride that I saw at the fairgrounds that I had never seen before, and I actually thought they stopped making these things, was the Sky Wheel. There was a classic Sky Wheel there. Now, pretty much what they look like two Ferris wheels attached together, and they loop around, and they're very tall. I didn't go on the Sky Wheel. I thought about it, but I decided not to when I stood up against the thing and I realized that it was the tallest thing in the actual fairgrounds itself. I don't do very well with heights. Sometimes I can get over that, but the Sky Wheel is also built in the very classic Ferris wheel style, where it has just, the very open air seats, and they only have one bar that goes across to keep you from falling out. So it was kind of making me nervous to think that I would be up that high and only have like a little bar protecting me from falling. But maybe next time I'll do it. when I was thinking about going on the Sky Wheel, I was still recovering from feeling too hot and a little bit queasy, so it probably wouldn't have been very good for me to go on that. But if I see another one in the future, I'll try it. I'll try going on it. But yeah, there was a lot of really nice fairground rides there. We had really nice food, and it's just a really nice experience being out with Miah. I really love doing those things with him. Doing anything with him, really. Oh, I actually saw Bendy at the fair, too. Bendy from Bendy and the Ink Machine. And I thought that this would be a little bit notable. They were selling these, you know how they have these concession stands where you can buy a plain white shirt and then they will do like a decal on it of a famous character or something. Sometimes they do it for hats too. Well, one of them was for Bendy, except we could tell that the person didn't have the license for Bendy, so they called him Biggie instead. So if I was to get one of those, it was going to not only be unlicensed, but it was going to be mislabeled and misnamed. So I wasn't going to do that. I'll just buy a real Bendy shirt. But I was going to get a picture of that too, but we didn't get a chance. But I thought that was a little bit funny to see. Sitting with me on the show tonight, actually, I have a pumpkin spice latte. I think I actually mentioned that. And no, I did not. I didn't mention that. I have a pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks, actually, and for some reason it came out really early this year. It is not autumn yet, but for some reason they're selling it early. All the pumpkin spice stuff is going to start coming out. Honestly, for how hot it was when I was at the fairgrounds, I am ready for summer to go away. I want autumn and winter to come now. They are the best times of the year, especially winter. It's my favorite time. I'm ready for the end of the year to start coming toward us now. I'm feeling a little accomplished this year, especially publishing my one of my newest books, Moonbeam. It was a nice goal to accomplish. Honestly, I would really love to republish my book, The Angel in the Heart of the Storm, before the year's out. I'm thinking up some cover art designs that I want to do for it. Also, speaking of artwork for my writing, recently I've been looking around for artists again who would be willing to make some artwork of some of my novel characters. As much as I like to draw, I really cannot draw my own characters. I know it's a very odd thing, but I can only draw characters that I've already seen. And even though I can see my characters in my mind, every time I try to draw them, I cannot draw them the way I want to, and I end up hating it. So, yeah, I've been looking around for some certain artists that I really like, particularly on DeviantArt, other places. Haven't really settled too much yet, or not settled, but I haven't really found too many just yet. A lot of artists that I used to like actually have stopped doing commissions and stuff, so that's kind of a downer. But I hope to find some more soon. Really looking to have some really nice artistic portraits done of my characters, or even some certain scenes to kind of help promote some of my books. And it also helps inspire me as well. Honestly, this probably will be good to do another song break. And you know, I think this episode I probably will have 3 song breaks. I'm thinking it might be a little bit of a shorter episode today. So, I'll take you now to Domino Radio, and I will see you again after the song is done.
With me, oh,
Hello again, and welcome back to An Hour with Domino. The song you just heard was Tiptoe Through the Tulips by Tiny Tim, another one dedicated to YouTube. I really hope that my voice is sounding alright in this episode. I keep coughing in between the breaks, and every now and then. You don't really know that because I've edited it out. But for some reason my voice just does not want to cooperate tonight. So I hope I'm sounding alright to you. Let's see, next thing I want to get into, I guess it would be mostly anime talk. It would be also special guest time, but Miah's not here tonight. Anime talk. Well, I haven't really watched anime just lately. I would love to tonight. Currently I have a few anime in progress. Been watching the brand new Pokemon, of course, Sun and Moon. We have that in progress. Been watching that with Miah. We've been watching all of the Yu-Gi-Ohs as well. We're currently still in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. We plan to do all of them, actually. You know, one thing that I actually do want to see soon, I have not done it yet, is Black Butler Book of the Atlantic. I need to look to see if I can see that again just yet, if it's been translated. I think it has been translated, and we'll have to see if we can see that. Absolutely love Black Butler. It's an amazing anime. I know a lot of other people agree too. It has many fans. You know, I think I've mentioned this before, even with Miah, possibly, in like a past episode, but you know, it's something I'd really like to see as an anime. An anime that is about boys that are in a traveling circus. And me and Miah really would love this concept. Like, there'd be a few really cute clown boys in it. Some Bishi clown boys. And I just think it would be a good story, too. And he's the one who first thought it up, and I really agreed with him. I think it would be a really interesting story. Like, they travel all around whatever country they're in, and they're just a traveling circus, and I think you can have a lot of story potential for that, something like that. And I think it would be really popular too. And going back to Black Butler again, there was that one chapter of the story, Black Butler, Book of Circus, and people really loved that. They loved the characters in it and everything. So I think this would definitely be something very popular. If there is any anime out there that people know that is somewhat of that theme, definitely leave it in the comments if I'm overlooking it somehow, or if I just don't know about it. There are a lot of anime that have never been translated that are popular in Japan, but just not over here. There's actually, I can think of a few anime that I would really love to see translated, but they may not be. One of them is Pandora Hearts. I really love that. It's kind of a gothic, dark take on Alice in Wonderland. I really love the Cheshire Cat. He's my favorite character in that one. Another one that I would really love to see translated is Seven Ghost. Some people call it 07 Ghost, but it's pretty much known as Seven Ghost. It's kind of short, not real short, but shorter than most anime, but I really love that one too. It's kind of like a fantasy adventure. Also set in somewhat of, I don't want to say medieval, but it seems like it's kind of set in the past. Or maybe like Old World Europe. Maybe. I'd have to actually look to see exactly what it's genre is, but it's mostly like a fantasy adventure, I think. But I really love the characters in that one too. The central character, Tato Klein, he's very cute. I think Miah would like him. Um, you know what? Why don't you leave in the comments, actually, if there's any anime that you would love to see translated? Aren't they continuing with Fairy Tail again soon? I thought I heard something about how they're going to actually make another Fairy Tail, but I'm not really sure. I haven't really seen that one just yet. I really love the characters in it, but I haven't really seen it. And I probably should watch Fairy Tail. I know a lot of other people have. There have been a lot of anime that I have started watching just because I think the characters are visually appealing. In fact, me and Miah have a few that we plan to start in the future. Another anime that I'd like to start doing soon is Boruto, but I have to finish Shippuden first. Yeah, as much as I'm a big fan of Naruto Shippuden, I have not completely finished it just yet. I've seen a majority of it. And me and Miah are also in progress watching that one too. I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. Oh, another anime that I really like, Space Dandy. I'm sure a lot of people do know what Space Dandy is, but for those who don't, I really love the design of that one. It's kind of like a space-themed adventure anime, and it's very comical. Has very likable characters in it, and they travel all these different planets and stuff in it, and I have to watch that again. It used to be shown on Toonami, like a few years ago, but I actually would really love to see that one again. You know, even though this is anime talk, I'm still going to bring up Pokemon. Pokemon's an anime anyway. Something I would really love to see in the new generation of Pokemon is I want to see a Pokemon that is based off of a clock. I really like object-based Pokemon. I think they're interesting. But I would really love it if they had like a little tiny clock who evolves into like a grandfather clock. And you could make it like a ghost fairy type or something. I think that would work. Maybe I should just draw that myself or something. You know, I did once draw my own Pokemon. It was a jack-o'-lantern themed Pokemon, and I drew it before Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist were even a thing. And I know I really have no way to prove that because I don't have it uploaded anywhere, but I really did. I thought that idea up before they even invented those two Pokemon and added them to the actual story. But I'm completely fine with Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist, especially since they are part ghost type. I really love the ghost Pokemon. I also did a Pokemon personality test recently. I usually don't do these things. And I didn't really post it up anywhere. I was going to put it on possibly my DeviantArt journal section. Who knows, I might still do that someday, but it didn't really seem too accurate. I mean, a little bit accurate, but it ended up saying that I was pretty much an ice psychic type, and the only two Pokemon I can think of that are ice psychic types are Smoochum and Jinx. I really do not see myself as either one of those Pokemon at all. I like Jinx. I think it's a interesting Pokemon, and they can be pretty powerful in battle, especially after you train them well, and they're reliable, but I don't really see myself as that. I love psychic Pokemon, but I really love ghost Pokemon too, and ice-type Pokemon are interesting as well. But, yeah, I just didn't really agree with that accuracy. I don't think it's too accurate. Most personality tests that you find are really not accurate at all. It's really hard to find a good one, so that's why I rarely even do those. And also, people really can't know you inside and out completely. Your personality is a very unique thing. It's unique to you. And I guess you can just say you can do it for fun, but yeah. The test was pretty much what kind of Pokemon are you, and it was coupled with the standard personality test. There was a few questions in it. Well, not questions, but like a few parts in it that really didn't even make sense. Like, I remember for like, because you were choosing all of these different personality parts in with each different type of Pokemon. And I remember when I got to Steel type, like one of them was you get sick often. You get sick often or sick a lot. And I remember thinking to myself, well, what does that have to do with a Steel type Pokemon? It really doesn't make sense, especially since Steel type Pokemon are usually very hardy and strong. So you really wouldn't think they would be sick very often. But yeah, that's what I mean about them not really being too accurate, I don't think. But yeah. Alright everyone, it's time to move on to our third song break for the show. I will see you soon, and I hope YouTube enjoys it.
Hello, my dear friends. Well, here I am on record at last. And it feels so wonderful to be here with you on my first album. I'm so happy, oh, happy-go-lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't worry, worrying don't agree. Things that bother you never bother me. Things that bother you never bother me. I feel happy and fine, ha-ha. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Having got a lot, I don't need a lot, coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Just take it from me, I'm just as free as any daughter. I do what I like, just what I like, and how I love it. I'm right here to stay when I'm old and grey. I'll be right in my prime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Just take it from me, I'm just as free as any daughter. I do what I like, just what I like, and how I love it. I'm right here to stay when I'm old and grey. I'll be right in my prime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Well, hello again, and welcome back to An Hour with Domino. The song you just heard was Living in the Sunlight, Loving in the Moonlight by Tiny Tim. Another song that I absolutely love by him. He was a great singer. I really love Tiny Tim. I have a whole album of his in my record collection. I actually featured it on Phonomuse in my vinyl channel. Let's move on to the world of creation, and I'll talk about my writing a little bit. And I think I'll end the show with the world of creation today, and maybe a quote of the day. The other night when I was coming down off of my migraine, I was just sitting in my recliner chair with Miah, and we were talking about my books. Beforehand, he had sent me a song that really reminded him of one of my characters, and after listening to it, it really reminded me of that particular character too. And I knew exactly one scene that I had already wrote. Well, I wrote part of it, I haven't finished it yet, but that really reminded me and inspired me. And I'm going to probably use that when I finish that scene in my writing later on, but I realized that my Power of the Gods series, which is what I'm talking about, I have a few more ideas that I've been working on, and also, just to let everyone know, it's probably going to be a little bit longer than what I've expected. So far, this series is expected to be some of my longest writing work, kind of a magnum opus, if you will. Um, it's very important to me. All my writing is important to me, but I've been working on the power of the gods since literally 14 years old. I mean, I started thinking up the story behind it as far back as then, and I've really um, developed my writing skill since then, obviously. And I've changed a lot of things, added a lot of things. There are a lot of characters that I haven't even yet to introduce to the whole entire world of it. I really hope that people are enjoying the series so far, those who have bought the first book. I used to have the second book published, but I'm currently working on re-editing it, and I will be republishing it. And I will let everyone know when I'm done with that. I have several writing works in progress. I always write according to what inspires me at the time. I have several books in progress right now in several different genres. And for most writers, that would pretty much, very much overwhelm them, but it doesn't always do that for me. I always just work on the ones that I feel inspired with during that time, and then I'll go back and finish it at a later time. And I come to realize that it's kind of an easier thing for me. If you focus on something that you don't feel too inspired with right away, and you force it, then it ends up not being very good. And it's something that I realized a long time ago. And that's not even just with writing. It can be with drawing, it can be with painting, making music, anything creative that you do. If you're not feeling inspired in that moment, don't do it. Take a break from it and go back to it when you are inspired. And if you're not able to hop right on it right then, make notes or something so you can work on it later. It's always best to let your creative flow and your muses work best when you feel inspired. Creativity is something that is never rushed or never forced. Otherwise it just turns out bad. And it's no good for any artist of any kind. But I just wanted to let everyone know that I am still very much in progress with my writing. I know I had kind of a creative, not really a problem, it's just after publishing Moonbeam, my creativity has been all over the place lately. I haven't been able to focus on one thing at a time, but in a way, I suppose that's kind of a good thing. I've been doing a lot of different things to fuel my creative outlets, so I also plan to do some more Sims movies in the future. Movies being made with The Sims 3, possibly The Sims 2 again. I'm not really sure. I haven't made a Sims 2 movie for a few years now. I had another movie that I was making with The Sims 3 that's actually based off of one of my books, but I put that on hold because I'm currently writing the book, and I don't know if I want the book to come out first or if I want to put out the little movie that I've been making. When you make machinima films with The Sims, you have to keep in mind that it's not going to be exactly the way you want it to be, like a real feature film. I would love it to be. I've always wanted to make my own feature films because I love cinematography as well, but when you're dealing with The Sims, you have to have a lot of patience, and you have to realize that it is still limiting, even with all of the custom content at your disposal. It is still limiting in what it can do, so it won't be exactly the way you first envision, and that's something I had to also kind of consider. If I release my Sims 3 movie out first before my book, I would want everyone to know that it's not going to be 100% the same. And I don't know if I want the book to come out first or the movie. I guess it just depends on if people would still be interested in both. I would hope that they would still be interested in both. You can go into so much more detail when you're writing. Even people who have had movies made off of their books, there are things in writing that you can put into words and allow the reader's mind to put it into perspective and see it much differently than in a movie. And cinematography and writing are two different art formats with their own strengths and weaknesses, and their own different feel to it. So whenever you make a movie off of a book, it's usually expressed a little differently. And sometimes they can't really express everything visually that you can with words. And sometimes even in movies, things are expressed visually in a certain way that you really couldn't explain in a book either. So it can go either way. But honestly, I think that is just the beauty of each different art format. Each one has its own respective view to it. And you know what? I think I'm going to get ready to end the episode for today. I honestly hope everyone will have enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the music as well. I think I'll end with a quote of the day, and that is, "No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world." Robin Williams. Until next time, this has been An Hour with Domino. Bye for now.